at Comix.one. Well, today we have with us Raymond Lolacher from Regina, Saskatchewan in Canada. Welcome to the show, Ray.
Hello, thanks for having me on again.
Ray is our friend of the show, and he's also a very prolific artist. Yeah. I know last time around you had a different comic, and what I loved about that was that painted cover. I still vividly remember you showing me that painted cover of I Hate the Morning.
Yeah, yeah, I still have it.
That's so fantastic. I just loved it so much. Um, Tell us a bit about yourself, Ray, about your origins as an artist, and also as a comic book creator.
Well, as you said, I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, in Canada. I didn't go to art school or anything. I went to high school and learned art and elementary, I guess. But other than that, I don't have any art school experience. Just basically learning how to draw from like repetition, drawing constantly at my place of residence, and then I've always had a love for comics. I had like a huge comic collection when I was a kid. My mom would buy me the big bundles of comics from Sears, and you'd get like 100 comics in them, and I was just fascinated with all the cool stories that you'd get in there, and they're all like back issues, right? So uh, like it was just fun. I just loved the whole medium of it, and the stories and how it could kind of take your imagination anywhere, right? So
Yeah.
from there, it's just like uh, I kept drawing throughout the years, right? And as life goes, I got married and had kids, and really didn't have time to create comics. So I got back into it like probably about 4 or 5 years ago now, and like I really, this is when I decided I was like, I'm gonna do comics. I just had it in my head, like dead set. So I started drawing more comic stuff, right? And then, as an artist, you're waiting, you're waiting for somebody to hire you, right? And
Mm.
it doesn't happen like you think it would. So uh, I got sick and tired of waiting, so I just made my own. And the character, like the first comic I came out with is the series I'm working on now. This is issue 3 of it, and the character actually made back in like high school, and he looked
Wow.
quite a bit different from what he looks like now. But yeah, it was kind of like based on like a Dungeons and Dragons character I thought up. Like he was supposed to be an elf, and he had like swords coming out of his head. So I basically took that idea and shaped it into Fallen. So I was like, well, I can't really have this guy with the swords. I need something a little cooler than just swords coming out of his head.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I thought
No,
horns would be
his
cool, and it kind of branched into the dragon myth, right? So
nice. That his characterization is actually very cool. Like I think his armor and even like I feel like his mask is actually quite good as well. Like the overall look of him being like he looks like a warrior, and yeah, it looks amazing. Tell us a
well,
bit about the.
if you
Sorry, you
remember
were
the
saying?
first issue, they lied about the queen lied to him about being a warrior, right? So so it turns
Exactly.
out he's actually a zombie dragon.
Wow.
So the
Yeah,
characters
yeah.
are it's like a mythological kind of idea I came up with where his power is based out of uh, a descent. They're all descendants of dragons, and his
Mm.
descendant that he came from was a zombie dragon, and
Wow.
so it's kind of harder to kill them because they're already dead. So he kind of
That
gets
is
his
so
power from
different.
that. Yeah. So that's why
That's
he's such a threat. And so the queen was out to kill him because she needs dragon souls to keep her grandfather asleep, or her father asleep, I should say, the father dragon, and he's still in
mm,
true dragon form. So it was basically just using the dragon souls to keep him asleep. You got to feed the vile dragon souls to keep it going for another century. So that's where the whole idea comes from. And now she killed him off, which woke up his spirit dragon that's in him,
okay.
and he came back alive, and this is a big problem now for the queen.
That's fantastic. That's such a different take on the whole dragons and humans kind of lore, right? Like, wow,
Yeah,
that's yeah,
yeah, I kind of wanted to have something that's like completely different than like whatever else I've read, or and I didn't want to do a copy of like a Marvel or a DC character of some guy growing up in New York and falls off a building and he gets powers or something. I wanted to do I wanted to have a deeper meaning to how these come out, right? And there's so much deception and mystery in the issue, so it's like a real different take on it all, right?
that's amazing. That's so fantastic. So, in this issue, can people expect a lot of action or like even like action, drama, suspense? What do you reckon? Like, what's going to be the center of this issue?
Well, so this issue is the peak. So we find out a lot of stuff. Like the first two issues were a lot of buildup. I think like it wasn't they weren't filled with as much action, right? And this
Yeah,
one is it kind of takes off. It's starting to build up because the series ends at 4, or the peak of it anyway. Like it'll be a new story after 4 if I continue on with it, or if I just end it. I'm not sure yet what I'm doing with the fourth issue, the end of it. But this one's building up for that issue 4, so there's a lot of action in this one. And issue
that's
4 is going
fantastic.
to be crazy. There's going to be so
Mm,
much going on in issue 4. It's going to be hard to keep up with. So, but this one
that's
is
amazing.
is really the big buildup for issue 4.
So, you reckon like issue four will exceed like the standard length and go like say
I
like
like keeping them
50, 60
32
pages?
pages because, like, I still like the floppy idea. I think if you're going more than 32, you're going into a graphic novel kind of feel to it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd like to keep it 32, but maybe I'll extend it a little bit. Depends on how far I get with it, I guess.
Mm, mm. Maybe you can release additional pages as a separate thing, or maybe do like a second run where you can have some additional story pages or something like that, or special edition.
Yeah, maybe a special edition with it, but I haven't thought of that yet. I'm worried about issue 3 right now, so this
Yeah,
would have to
yeah.
go through before I can worry about that one.
Very true. Very true. We gotta get this funded, issue three. So if you all are watching this and you're loving what's being shown to you so far, please back this comic. You know, um, is this painted as well?
That is a
Yeah,
gouache painting. Yeah,
that's
yeah. So I painted
fantastic.
that one as well,
Do you
and
have?
the original
Yep.
I
I was
do
about to.
somewhere. I might have to dig for it. Give me a moment.
No worries. No worries.
No, I can't find it right now. It's somewhere.
That's all right, mate. We believe you.
It's
You did.
probably down by my scanner still. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know this looks stunning. Like it just looks so beautiful. Like the way I know the last one was it just you can see the layers even in the digitally scanned copy, and like that's the whole beauty of it. Um, did you spend a lot of time doing this one? I know you
The
did last
painting for
time.
that one, I bet you that one took me, I don't know. It didn't take as long as the oil painting because oil paint is like it dries so slow, right? So
Mm, mm.
with the gouache, it dries pretty fast. So I bet you I spent about maybe 6 hours on this one.
Still a lot of effort for the cover. Yeah.
Yeah, so you go in with your paint, and then I outlined it with ink for the
Nice.
black areas, like the outlines and that. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's kind of a mixed media piece, I guess.
Wow. It looks stunning though. Like I
Thank
think
you.
this yeah. In a world where things are going the other way, people are getting lazier and lazier making covers with AI. This
Yeah,
is
oh,
such a
that's
big
gross.
relief.
Yeah. No, I still do all my work traditionally, except for the colors inside the comic. I color that digitally, but I do painting still, and the pages in the comic are hand drawn and inked, and I scan them onto the computer. So
That's
it's still
fantastic.
traditional artwork.
No, I
I don't know.
have mad respect for you for doing that, to be honest.
So did you see the Indie Tober stuff?
No, no.
Oh, I've been posting them on my Instagram, like for the most part, basically because X doesn't really get great exposure. So,
Ah, okay,
but
okay.
I post them on my Instagram. So each day of October, um, we're it's like a theme. So it's an indie comic for each day of October that you're supposed to draw.
Wow,
And
that's a lot.
actually, Travis Gibb, he puts together this event. So Orange Cone Comics, if you're familiar
Yep,
with that.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he
yeah.
puts the event together, and it's on a Facebook group. So I've been doing it. This is the third year I've been in it. It's so much fun. You get to discover all kinds of indie characters, and it's really it pushes you to your limits, especially like doing it traditionally, because like it takes me a bit longer maybe because I got to wait for the ink to dry and that before I can scan it. So I
Mm.
was scanning the pages at like 10:30, 11 at night sometimes to get them up there.
Wow.
But yeah, I was
It's
like,
also
okay,
such a clever. Yeah.
get off work, you come home, you start drawing, and then hopefully you got it done by the end of the night. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like doing it. I wish there were more
Wow.
people that participated in it.
Mm, mm. No, no, it's a very clever way to actually get the word out for indie comic creators. That's really good. Yeah, it's also like I think that's what the fans of indie comics really crave. Like they crave the whole process and like behind the scenes and how things are coming to life because they feel like they're part of the journey and this just brings them along on the journey, right? Journey to create.
Oh,
Uh,
sure, yeah. Well,
yeah.
that too, and there's something to be said. Like indie creators are titles aren't super popular, right? So it's not like Marvel or DC. You're not getting that same exposure. So
Yeah.
a lot of these creators, they usually don't get fan art. So
Mm,
when you get a piece of fan art from an artist that's in the indie comic community, it's like, wow, this is pretty cool, right? So
that
it's
is so
neat seeing
amazing.
somebody else draw your character, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the most reassuring thing of all, because you know that that person has read and liked the book, and they understand what you're going for. So that's such a
Yeah,
good
exactly.
feeling.
Yeah, really. Yeah, for sure. No, it's a lot of fun at the event. Every October we do it. So
That's so cool. Do link it to us. We can put it in the description for people to look at it later. Amazing. Tell us a bit about the rewards in your campaign.
so they're pretty basic. I mean, you're buying a comic. That's why you go on these apps, right? So it's I got comics for the issue, and I have a variant cover as well. There's digital. Um, a friend of mine, he actually volunteered his comics for the digital. Like
Ah,
if we fund, so if we fund, he's giving away free digital comics. So that's pretty cool.
that's so cool. Yeah.
And then
Awesome.
there's signed copies if people like that, and there's the black and white edition for the digital as well, so you can see the line art better. And I got this thing where I started making trading cards for the
Nice.
Fallen series, and so with the trading card, it's like those old Marvel trading cards. So you
Mm.
got the image of the character on the front, and then their stats on the back, and a little brief history.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if people dig that kind of stuff. Uh, Also, I made a. I'm going to be making a bookmark for this because I
Nice.
thought people like bookmarks for because really if you're buying comic books, you probably read books too. So I got a bookmark I made up with the dragon in it. So
Nice. That's also a
be pretty cool.
good way to help people remind that they got your book, and they have to come back and back the next one.
Exactly right. Yeah. No, and there's catch up tiers. Like if you new to Fallen, you can get the catch up tier. So issue 1 and 2. Uh, I Hate the Morning is in there as well. If you are a horror comic lover, that I put that in the
Nice.
rewards. And also, since I'm doing Indie Tober, I have the Indie Creator Special. So
Oh,
typically with Kickstarter, you get a lot of like other indie comic creators actually backing them as well. So I thought I'd do a little reward so they can actually get the physical copy of their drawing of their character if they'd like it.
oh, that's such a clever idea. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So I did that, and then I got a commission if you want a nice 11 by 17 of something like a big picture, and get that
Yeah.
one drawn up for you too. So
Wow, some of these characters are so detailed. Like, wow, some of these drawings here in the indie creator special one, especially, they're so
so
detailed. Wow.
because I was in such a rush to get them done because like like most indie creators, I got a full time job during the day, and
Very true.
get home from work and you start doing this, and I do it traditionally, like I said. So uh, I did all of them with uh, paintbrush. All of them are inked with paintbrush. So
Wow.
it was actually a pretty good skill build up, right? Because you kind of got to see if you can fit it in that time frame and
Mm.
put out a nice piece, right? So I
Wait,
think it turned
don't
out pretty
sell
nice.
yourself short. You're a fantastic artist. You're everyone can see the amount of detail you put in the work. So you're already at a pretty epic level.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like drawing. Really, it's just there's nothing like it.
That's very true. I think I posted this yesterday on Twitter, and I think it's very true that most indie comic creators create for themselves, and that's probably uh, one of the best ways to create, because if you you create something that's you value it, you love it, you put your heart and soul into it, because you love it, and that's how people actually come and relate to that art, or because it's been created with love, more than
Yeah,
just
it has an
a
identity.
skill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and most of the time it's a original story that hasn't been done before. It's not influenced by the big corporations, right? So it's got original characters and original storyline. So indie comics is pretty unique in that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very true, and I also feel like it's not just this. Like there's so much human capital involved in this. Like I even if they're making not making a good comic, you can still see the amount of trial and tribulations people have gone through to actually create that comic book.
Yeah,
It's
for
just the
sure.
passion, right? Yeah,
Yeah, something to be said about it. That's for sure.
yeah. We get there. We get there. I think,
Yeah,
like you said before, like us Indies need to stick together to lift each other up, right?
we
We don't
do.
have
I
to.
think it's so true because there's not the same kind of money flowing around with the indie market. So I think if we stick together, we can push each other and rise up and try and conquer the comic industry. I don't know.
Hopefully, one day.
You never
That's
know.
that. You never know. I think even as of today, we're getting successfully funded a lot of our books, and we're kicking goals. We're shipping books to the other side of the world, and I feel like indie comics is thriving. I think we're doing quite well compared to,
Well, it's
say,
that
like,
personal touch too, right? Like most of the creators they're packaging up those comic books themselves and sending them off. It's not going to a warehouse and then you got a bunch of minimum wage workers packaging them up into boxes and shipping them out for you. It's like you're actually doing this, and you're most of us aren't getting paid, so there's that too. You just do it for the love of it.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
it's
mean, you're
something to be
doing it
said about
actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you're
Sorry,
doing
I
it
was saying.
yourself, and there's no payment. Most of the time, we're putting our own money into this stuff, so it's the personal touch. I think is what really makes it more appealing.
I was just making a joke that as a creator, you're not even getting the minimum wage.
No, you're not. You're not. You pay. You pay. Uh,
Yep, yep, very true. Yeah, that's what it takes, and I feel like we're thriving because I like people are talking about this. There's been articles about like DC, or like Marvel and DC slowing down and death of comics, and yeah, like sales in comic book stores going down. But I don't know.
yeah, it's
Crowdfunding
hard to
and
say
Kickstarter
what
just keeps
the
growing.
answer is to all that. I don't think it's good that they're slowing down or that the sales are down. That's not a good thing. But um, I think if you have more original titles out there, it'll maybe appeal to the younger generation as well.
Yeah, that just tells me that people are hungry for new stories. I feel
It
like
could be just
they,
they want some change. Yeah,
yeah,
have something unique and original out there. So you can only tell the
exactly,
Superman story so many times.
exactly. I mean that's kind of objectively true as well. If you see like things that like Image and other comic book companies do, like especially the mainstream or bigger ones, even if Image wants to call themselves an indie comic
Yeah,
publisher,
I
they
don't know if it is so
they
much anymore, but
yeah, yeah. But I mean, a lot of their stuff, like Paper Girls, which is like a hard sci-fi and fantasy genre kind of thing, and like there's some other like uh, really like genre specific books. They do so much better than superhero books these days, right? Like
Yeah,
that
it's
just
a
goes to
different
show.
different subject
Yeah,
that's they're tackling, and sometimes it's real life issues, right? So
yeah,
or else it's
exactly.
a different part of the imagination being used. So it's pretty unique in that way. I know I bought a few of those distillery comics. Those were pretty interesting too.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I distillery was very cool. Like I think I got Soma, and I just loved how the art is so different. Like they've experimented with the medium, and that's what we need. We need more
Oh,
experimentation.
sure.
That's
You need more people trying different things to attract readers than the same old thing for
exactly,
sure.
exactly. That's where I feel like the new age is very different. Like there's much more power in the hands of the creators, right? Like you can literally go to Kickstarter and put your idea up and get money to create it. That's very powerful.
It is a powerful tool to use because years ago there wasn't that. You had to go to a publisher and push it with the publishers and see if the editor would allow you to come on board, and then most of the time you'd lose your character to that publisher. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
that. At least
yep.
we own it.
That's very true. Yeah, I was talking to this creator here in Sydney, and he basically did like a graphic novelization of a book, um, for Penguin Random House, and they're the biggest publisher in the world, and when it
Yeah.
came to marketing, he was really like he was getting a bit precious about, like, he was saying like I wanted X cover, and they were like, no, no, our user research shows this cover is better, and they're like, he hated that cover, but he can't do much about it because they're the ones who are
Once you
going to
sign that
distribute.
contract, you lose it,
Yeah,
right? You lose ownership of it, really, or part of that ownership.
yeah,
So yeah, it's
exactly.
unfortunate, but I guess if you want to get paid, there's
Well,
that.
it did pay well, so
Who's signing the checks, right?
yeah, exactly, exactly. I think the key here is to probably balance the two things. Like you do one of these direct market published books, and then one of your own. So you keep getting that creative hit at the same time. The money
Yeah, I
keeps
mean,
coming
like if
in.
you could talk to the publisher and maybe get them to say, like, "Hey, will you at least take my cover and do so many copies of it?" You never know; they
That's
might
a
go for it.
yeah. That's actually a good idea. Yeah, yeah. Fantastic.
You
Okay,
never know.
cool. Let's make this a little interesting. I I want to ask you about. I usually ask top five pop culture things, but since this is a dragon related book, top five dragon movies, shows, or games that you like, or comic books
Um,
if they're there.
let's see. Um, Game of Thrones is always awesome. Like the dragons in that show, it's crazy
Yeah, because
awesome, right?
yeah,
I got
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I could just watch that show just for the dragons in it. Really, uh, never mind the boobs, but what else is what the Ring of Fire? That was like an older one with I think it was Christian Bale was in it.
Hmm.
That was a pretty cool
Christian
show.
Bale
I
and
like
Matthew
that.
McConaughey both are in the same
Yeah,
movie, which is pretty
yeah, that was an
fascinating.
excellent
Yeah,
show. If you
yeah.
haven't seen it yet, um, I've been watching that Vox Machina
Hmm. Hmm.
on Prime. That's actually pretty cool. It's like an animated show.
Yeah,
if
if
you
you're
like
into
that.
like D&D like gaming, they have Critical Role is it's based on Critical Role. The
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not up in the gaming stuff as much. Kids took it over from me when I was younger, so. But no, yeah. What's another cool one? Like I've always been a huge fan of like Forgotten Realms books, like R.A. Salvatore books. And I think
Nice.
there's a few dragons in there with the Legend of Drizzt in there, and yeah, those are always awesome. And Baldur's Gate, if you like
Mm.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, like the old gaming tabletops, those are deadly.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
played
yeah.
it in years, but yeah, it was always fun to play. Yeah, it was
Nice.
basically I like those kind of like the geeky side of me. Lord of the Rings, how could you not mention that?
Right?
Those were
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Though I instead of dragons, they call it Nazguls in that like they don't strictly call it dragons, right? Like in Lord of the Rings, or do they?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think they do have a different name for them. Yeah, they're not called dragons. I don't think he called them that.
yeah, yeah. I think they're
I don't
called
know. I
Nazguls.
Lost Goats,
Nazguls.
Nosgoats. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's in the books. I take it. I never read the
Yeah,
books. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
watched the movies. I'll have to read the books one day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, you must totally read the books. I think I was as a kid I was a huge fan of the books.
Oh
I've
yeah.
read them several times, and when the movies came out, I just went bonkers about it.
Oh yeah. Me
Uh,
too.
there was I think this was like years after the movies were released. They re-released at least in Mumbai when I was there. They re-released the movies. They were showing all the three movies back to back in extended cut.
Oh yeah.
So there was like 12 hours worth of movies, and I
Oh, the
just bought.
extended versions too, probably, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're like using
I was
toothpicks to
12
hold
hours
your
in the
eyelids
theater.
open.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember going to the theater for them and sitting there for like 3 hours to watch a movie. It's like, oh my gosh, this is a long, long watch. It was good, but
yeah, yeah.
still a long time to sit on your butt in the theater.
I know, I know. By the time like I think the second movie was we were halfway through. I had butt cramps.
Oh yeah.
I could.
Yeah, God, I should have brought a pillow. That was before they came out with the recliner seats and the too, right? So you just had like a
I
little
know.
cushioned seat to sit on. They weren't the best.
Exactly. Oh, awesome. We're coming close to time, but thanks a lot for coming on the show, Raven. I truly appreciate it. I hope the campaign's successful, and we get through it. We still 5 days left on it, and
Yeah.
I as we know it, it takes that final climb sometimes is a big one. So we'll make it happen.
Well,
Yeah.
fingers crossed. All right. Well, thank you for having me on again.
But yeah, all the best. It's a beautiful book. If you support great indie artists, great indie art, that's right there. The art is beautiful. It's all done by humans. No AI there. That's the thing. If for anything, back for that. Back it for a great human like Ray, who loves the indie community and loves to lift each other. Uh, you know. So yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Oh, sorry. Before I go, I want to give you the stage and just do like a quick pitch of the book for everyone. Maybe just take a few minutes and just do an elevator pitch.
Okay. Oh, it's a dark fantasy kind of like superhero type book, like we were talking about earlier. It's an original type of idea. I don't know if it's been tried too many times before. So uh, if you dig that kind of stuff, it's about a average person that gets dragon powers, and he has trouble figuring out and dealing with it. He battles an evil dragon queen uh, who's basically trying to stop the vial from running out, and her father waking up, who is still in full dragon form. So a lot of deceit, mystery, uh, dragons, of course, and you got your horned hero there, the Fallen. So if this kind of
Nice.
thing catches your eye or your attention, and you want to find out more about it, I got many tiers that are affordable, and I think you'll like it.
Nice. Nice. Well, that was amazing. And yeah, support a great indie creator. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Until next time, stay cool.
Right
Awesome.
on.